All right, welcome back to our DIY dog training force fetch videos with Aries. I believe this is part 7. Working through indoor force fetch. This should be the last video that we do here inside the shop. And the purpose of this video today is to talk about switching objects. Now, the last video I showed where he was fetching on command, we did e-collar fetch, and he was fetching on command off the ground, as well as we got him to deliver to hand. So kind of a lot of steps, a lot of big things happened last time. Today is a relatively simple step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through different objects for him to retrieve. And so let me show kind of some of the range here of what I'm using, and he's obviously pretty excited about the real birds. So we're going to start with the blue wing teal, the frozen teal, which is nice and easy. It's small, it's firm, it's easy to grab a hold of. Then I'm going to use a frozen mallard hen. Now, hens are smaller than drakes usually, and so this bird is pretty light, and it's also frozen, so it's got a nice, easy grip. Then I've got a thawed out mallard. This is one of our old training birds. It's actually kind of stinky. Been dead a while. But it flops around. It's got parts all over the place. So the idea is we want to give him a progression of birds to pick up. We also want to give him a progression of retrieving objects as well, because some dogs have a really strong tendency to like birds and not like picking up bumpers. Some are the other way around. Some don't care. It's nice if you can do this at this point, so you can give them a lot of exposure, so they have lots of different objects here. So I'm actually going to go through kind of a regular plastic bumper. Then I'm going to use the great big 3-inch bumper. Then I'm going to use what we call a hex bumper, which has got some knobbies on it as well as a rope. Some dogs get weirded out by a rope. It happens. But this is actually the style of bumper we train with the most. So we'll be using this one at the end. And then I've also got a deadfall Dachshund retriever. So this is meant to simulate a duck. These are a great little tool. I like these things. I use them quite a bit, especially when we're training in the water, because it keeps you from having to throw real ducks in the water and get your real ducks all nasty and soaked. Generally, when you throw real ducks in the water a couple of times, that's probably about all you're going to get out of them. They just get pretty soggy and pretty mushy. So what I'm going to do with Aries here, we're going to start with a little bit of fun. Just give him a little tease here. Toss the bumper for him. Get him to pick it up. Here, heel, sit. Good boy. Give. Good dog. So he does it nicely. We're going to switch to the next object. Now we're going to use the big 3-inch bumper. Again, we're just doing this, what we would call it as a fun bumper style. Aries, here. Come on, here. And he's being a little bit playful with it right now. Here. Good. Heel. Sit. Good. Nope. Fetch. Okay. Now if we get a drop, we're going to fetch. Good. Good. Now the 3-inch bumper is definitely a little more to hold. All right, and that's good. We want him to get some practice with that bigger object. Give. There he goes. You'll notice here, I'm not steadying him at this point. Give. We're letting him experience this. Now let's do the bumper with the rope. Attaboy. Here. Come on, Aries. Here. And he's being a little bit playful. He's a little bit wound up today. Sit. No. Okay. Fetch. Good. Okay. So we're just going to go back to those commands. If he drops, we simply say fetch. At this moment, I'm using ear pressure instead of e-collar. Aries responds to the e-collar fine, but I want to keep my hands free, so I'm not holding the transmitter. Good. Give. Good dog. So now we're going to step up to the Dachshund, the deadfall here. We're just going to give a little toss. Good boy. Here. Let's go. Nope. See there, I said here too quickly, and he came without it. But we got to be careful, because they can mind too well, right? And I'm doing this in a positive way. I am not, here, heel. I am not forcing this. Nope. Except when we have a drop. Good. Okay, so the only pressure here with new objects is associated if he makes a mistake. He knows not to drop it. Right? So we're trying to let him experience this positively. Give, good boy, and have some fun with it. And understand, where everything else is the same. We're in the same setting, so he knows what to do. Here, heel, sit, give, good dog. So he knows what to do. We're just changing objects, okay? Now we're going to go switch to birds. If you're doing this, I highly recommend doing the plastics first, then the birds. Sometimes after dogs have had a lot of birds, they're like, yeah, I don't want to go picking up that rubber thing. That's boring. It doesn't smell good. Here. Good. Heel. Sit. Give. Should also mention there, I did something to him when he came in. All right. He came in and I could see he was coming in kind of in front of me. So if you see your dog is going to stop and you think he's going to stop in front and not come into heel, you can take your left leg and just step back this way so that he will come at the left leg and he'll end him more here. And then when you put that foot back forward, he's right back in the heel position. So you can help your dog have a better landing spot just by controlling where you throw that front leg. So now we're going to, hey, now we're going to throw the frozen hen. Attaboy. Here. Good dog. Heel. Sit. Good. Oh, that was my fault. Good. Here. Heel. See right there? He's kind of doing it again. Give. So we take a little step back. Now we're going to take the big floppy mallard drake. And we're just going to give it a little toss. Now, he's obviously played with mallards before because we've seen in previous videos he's been exposed to birds. Attaboy, Aries. Let's go. Oh, okay. Let's fetch him up. We got to get him. We got to get this duck. Huh? We got to get this duck. But now it's a different game when we're talking about trying to polish this delivery to hand. Here, let's go. Attaboy, come on. Come on, here. Let's go. Nope. So we're getting a little bit of confusion here. So we're going to keep at it. Give him some more opportunities. Here, heel, sit, give. Good boy. So in that case, I'm not going to use a lot of pressure. Right? When we're introducing new objects, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on them. And you really want to be careful when you are introducing new objects, especially birds, that you don't put a lot of pressure on the dog, right? You do not, especially if you've got a sensitive dog, putting a lot of pressure to fetch the bird, you can have some resentment. Remember, we started off with the force fetch stick that is now gone, all right? So he's not going to see this ever again. Because if there was animosity or bad feelings towards an object, we want it to be an object that he's never going to see again. All right, now, once we've got that delivery to hand making progress, certainly not perfect, all right, but we're going to work on our e-collar fetch with our regular, going to our regular bumpers. So we're going to go ahead and go back to what he already knows. Right, we've already done quite a bit of this, remember? So we're going to go, right, sit, good. So we're just going to go fetch, and there I'm actually using the e-collar, good. Here, nope, heel, good. And I'm still working on getting him to come to that left side. Give. He definitely wants to sweep around. That's okay. It's all right. Okay, let's go down here. Fetch. Good boy. Good. Here. Heel. Sit. Good boy. Give. Good dog. Good. All right. Now we're going to take the X bumper. We're going to set it out here in front of us. And it's an interesting mechanism. You saw right there, he wanted to grab, but then he was like, oh, wait, I'm not supposed to go yet. All right. And what's interesting is if I walk up to this bumper with him, he's going to avoid it. Watch this. Come on. Okay. He has no interest in picking this up right now unless I tell him to. Okay. And dogs do that. They compartmentalize something that's already on the ground versus something I just saw land on the ground. right? There's a big difference. They see those things differently. Most dogs see that differently. Some dogs don't, but I would say 95% see the object on the ground and go, I ain't picking that up. No way. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to help him understand that we're going to walk to it and we're going to fetch. Sometimes we call this walking fetch. All right. So I'm going to walk up here to it. All right. And you can see he's even trying to get on the other side. He's avoiding it. Right. Okay. So we're going to come right here. We're going to go fetch. Good. So I gave him a little nick on the collar. I touched his ear and said fetch. So he knew that meant I want him to pick it up, that I'm giving him the command to pick it up. And he responded the way I wanted. Good boy. Right? Also notice that we're still in no hurry to get this out of his mouth. Right? We want him to understand that just because he has it doesn't mean I'm coming to get it right away. Give. Good boy. Good. All right, so let's try this again. All right. Good boy. Fetch. Fetch. Okay. We're going to go ear pressure. Fetch. All right. Now we're getting a little refusal here. That's okay. That's probably because my hand isn't down here. Fetch. Good. Good boy. Sit. Good. Give. Now, it's not surprising if your dog also compartmentalizes the difference between a bumper that's on the ground like this and a bumper that's on the ground with your hand beside it. A lot of dogs get weird about the object being there versus your hand being there. So if your dog is being weird about it, just put your hand close, okay, without actually touching it, all right? So now we're going to come up here. We're going to try it again. Come on, good boy. Right here, fetch. Right, come on. We're going to give a little more pressure. Fetch. Fetch. Come on, fetch. Fetch. So this is definitely refusal. That's okay. We're going to work through it. Fetch. Come on. Fetch. Fetch. Come on. Fetch. And we're getting a little vocalization. That's okay. Come on. Fetch. There you go. Good. Heel. Sit. Good dog. So if your dog gives you a refusal, give, which at some point they will give you a refusal. It's not if, it's when. Slow, steady pressure, okay? You do not want to just drop the hammer on them right away, okay? We want to ease up that pressure, keep the pressure rising gradually until we get the response, because he knows I need him to pick this up, all right? But he's giving me a little bit of resistance here, and that's very typical, all right? So let's go one more. Come on, good boy. Good. Right here. Okay, right here. Oh, fetch. Right here. Come on. Fetch. Now I'm going to go up with the e-collar here. Fetch. 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 Come on. Fetch. Good. Good. Good boy. Sit. Good dog. Okay. So what we want is we want to see the dog doing this well indoors here before we move outside. Okay. So over the next week, I'm going to be working on getting this nice and clean inside to where we can walk along and pick it up. Eventually, we're going to want to have multiple bumpers on the ground. Give. You'll also notice that when you have a situation where you increase the pressure on your dog, 99 times out of 100, that dog will have a firmer grip on the object. So it's actually a good thing that you go through this because it tightens up that grip for a lot of dogs. All right, come on, right here, come on, come on. Nope. So this is denial. That's okay. Fetch. Good boy. Good. Good dog. Give. So that's pretty quick progress right there. I'm quite happy with Aries. Good boy. Hey, Aries. Nope. Fetch. Come on. Fetch. Fetch. Good. And right there, if you heard him vocalize, That's because I applied pressure and kept it on until he picked it up. Give. Good boy. One more time. That was a good one. Right here. Okay. What? Nope. Fetch. 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 What? Fetch. Good dog. Now he's getting really sloppy with our heel. That's okay. We can fight our battles one at a time. Good. I'm going to square up that hold. Good boy. Nope. Nope. Heel. Sit. Good. Okay. So this is a pretty good example of how we're trying to really change some of the rules. And when you start changing things on the dog, your dog is going to go, oh, wait a minute. That's not the same stick I picked up. Wait a minute. I thought I was picking it up out of your hand. Right? So we're adding more pieces to make this a little bit more complicated. But I'm pretty happy with that progress today. That was good. So give. What we're going to do is we'll work on this in here in the shop the next week. And then next week, we'll do this session. We should be able to start doing force fetch outdoors. Good luck. Thanks for watching.